Rush Limbaugh program. I'm Paul W. Smith, and a couple of quick notes. Newt.org to get the actual quotes, and also AmericanSolutions.com to try to help get some of the actual answers to some of the problems we have across the board in these United States. All right, you have spoken out about the field out there, and I think you wanted to wait until maybe October to see if the Republicans had a chance of putting someone up to be a serious alternative to what you call the Clinton-Obama ticket. What's your feeling about this now?
Well, look, I think that you got three very respectable, serious people running in Governor Mitt Romney, Mayor Rudy Giuliani, and Senator Fred Thompson. And I think all three of them are very much to be respected. They have very strong capabilities. But I also think that we need to engage, and they need to engage, in a much more dramatic critique of where we are, of what needs to be done, and of things that have to change. If we're seen as just offering more of the last 6 years, the fact is we're going to, I think, lose and potentially lose badly. Because that was the lesson of the 2006 campaign. I mean, every close election for Senate last year was lost by the Republicans. Every single one of them. If they were incumbent, the only one to win was an open seat. So I think the country was trying to send us a signal, and I think we owe it the respect of accepting that it's allowed to do that.
Did you call the Republican presidential candidates, those who have so far announced, a bunch of pygmies, or did you use that in your reference to de Gaulle?
Well, this is something I was actually asked about this by Chris Wallace, and something I thought was frankly funny. My dad served in the U.S. Army, and we ended up being stationed in Orléans, France, during the collapse of the French Fourth Republic. And so as a very young American, one of the most vivid moments I had early on was seeing the French Fourth Republic collapse, seeing the paratroopers come back from Algeria and kill the government. This is a government that had 100% inflation, that had lost all public confidence. And they brought General de Gaulle back from retirement, and he created the Fifth Republic, which is still today the longest-serving stable institution in France since the monarchy. So I'd lived through that kind of experience, and I was fascinated by de Gaulle's sense of history and his ability to not get drawn into the daily politics of the French Fourth Republic. And it was de Gaulle who basically said that the Fourth Republic had created a system where everybody was reduced to a pygmy. And what I've tried to tell people is, when you have these auditions with 10 or 12 or 14 people standing in a row with a television personality in charge, with 30 seconds to answer whatever random question the television personality gives to you, you are shrinking the potential for leadership in America. That if you go back and look at Lincoln and Cooper Union, he spent 3 months, wrote a 7,300-word, 2-hour speech, and it's the only major speech he gave in 1860, and yet he was nominated and became president. And he did so because people took him seriously. They thought he was the right leader at that moment because they thought he was a serious person.
And they're not really debates, as has been pointed out so many times in this program and elsewhere. And as you've said, they seem to demean the process, Newt Gingrich, of seeking the next president of the United States.
We want, as a people, presidents who are thoughtful, who are prepared, who have serious ideas about how they're going to lead the country and how they're going to solve our problems. And we need some device, some method of getting to know them better. And these are the opposite of that. These are virtually a joke. I tell people they're a cross between The Bachelor and American Idol, and Are You as Smart as a Fifth Grader? I mean, if you just watch them, there's something goofy about the whole feel to them. But I'm proposing, and Marvin Calvin and I are doing an event at the National Press Club, and we're going to propose that whoever the nominees are in 2008, that they agree in advance to 9 90-minute dialogues, one a week from Labor Day to the election, with a commitment to have a timekeeper but no moderator. So you'd end up with 2 adults sharing their concerns about America's future, their ideas for solving America's future, and hopefully both of them would actually grow out of the experience. Both of them would actually be a little more complex, a little more knowledgeable, a little more creative and positive by the end of that dialogue. But we Americans, we would have had a chance every week to spend 90 minutes minutes with two people who are seeking to be our national leader. And I think the process would be dramatically healthier than the current system that we're using.
The question is, and the question doesn't apply to the Rush Limbaugh audience, or for that matter, the audience to my show in Detroit, but it does apply to an awful lot of people, and that is, how are you going to get Americans, generally speaking, to sit there 9 times for 90 minutes to watch what should be very, very important, and people explaining in historic terms and otherwise how they're going to change Washington and change America?
Well, I think, first of all, that a surprising number of people would do just that. That if they knew this was the moment all week when they got a first-hand personal glimpse of the two presidential candidates and they had a chance to measure these two people, I think you get surprisingly good audiences.
All right. I think you have to leave, I'm told, on the half hour. So I do want to just ask you a quick question about Pearl Harbor, your novel, because I always tell you I will do that when you're kind enough to join me. It's the novel of December 8th. How is it doing?
It's done very well. We've been as high as number 6 on the New York Times best-selling list, and we're very excited by it. I think the story of Pearl Harbor relates directly to today. I think it's a very serious warning about the danger of being surprised, about the power of technology, and I really do recommend it to folks. I think you'd find it, I realize it's a little self-serving for me to say about my own book, but I think you would find it a very, very effective read, and one which has an awful lot of relevance for what we're living through today.
All right, and for folks who want to get more information, if they want to know about a quote, or they think there's a quote from you, Newt.org is a good place to go.
That's our official website. We put everything there so it's easy for people to get to.
And AmericanSolutions.com, these workshops over the internet, a way for you to get truly involved. September 27th, the anniversary of the contract with America, the 29th, an expanded workshop to actually have your say on how to fix some things in America. Newt, always a pleasure, my friend.
Good with you, Paul.
You take care. Newt Gingrich here on the Rush Limbaugh program. I'm Paul W. Smith in for Rush, and right back to you on the telephone, 1-800-282-2882.